Yeah, I have a feeling why. I have a feeling
Got a
why we
feeling?
didn't get shortlisted. I have a feeling that we didn't get like. I feel it. I have myself. I have a feeling that we didn't get shortlisted because um strategy. It wasn't dialed in.
Really?
We'll get the data. We'll know. We'll find out. Like, so what a shortlist is like during the proposal process, you will um, submit a proposal.
Hmm.
And if it's a part of the RFP instructions, like in the advertisement, they tell you the steps. So step one, you're going to submit a proposal. Step two, you'll if you are shortlisted, which means that they have, let's say, 20, for example, and then they narrow it down to five, then those five go to interviews. So that's a short list. And so if you get shortlisted, then you go to interview.
Yeah.
And
Kind of like
so,
callbacks, like callbacks if you were an
yeah,
actor.
yeah. The tricky thing with strategy in government contracts is that it's got to be really dialed in. Like it, I mean, you're dealing with different people. Like there's partnerships, subcontractors, internal team, just so many moving parts. Everything has to be dialed all the way in. Otherwise, it's like gonna lose people. It's kind of like having a conversation and then halfway through you have maybe 10 different tangents. You're like, what was I saying? Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people do that.
Take me
And
take me
yeah,
on how to dial it in, Melinda, because I really want to like learn how to do this for myself and apply this to
yeah,
my company or my companies because I have two that I'm working with, and then I also have like some ideas for future. But like, I want to know how to dial in my contracts and my proposals
yeah,
and what are the things I should be thinking of. Like, I was a math teacher,
yeah.
former life. So I'm just like, what are the variables I should be aware of? And
Mm,
like variables vary, they
yeah,
change. So like I guess my question is twofold. Like what should I dial in on?
yeah.
And then like what are the variables I should be aware of right now? Because of the climate, because of the time that we're in, because of our economy. Like what are some of the things I think you said the other day, which was like mind blowing to me, the September, what'd you call it?
Surge. Yeah,
Surge
yeah,
that like we're coming close to the end of the fiscal year.
yeah.
So
The federal fiscal year. Yes.
I'm like, oh, that was like very mindful. So what are some things like how do I dial it in? And then what are the variables that like people should be aware of? Like what should I be aware of? I mean, other people are great, but like what should I?
One of the mistakes that I see people make the most is they make their proposal all about them. And when they do that, they actually commoditize themselves. They make themselves like they focus on the services that they offer instead of the client that they're selling to or serving. And that's the number one problem that I see. And what that does is it communicates to the client that you have nothing special about yourself because everybody does that. Like, when we talk to people who are not strategic marketers, not marketers formally, they're not thinking about the what's in it for them. It's what's in it for us. We want to win the contract. We want the business. We want to make millions of dollars. We want to make billions of dollars. And so that actually is just like um, it's the byproduct. It's really when we talk in a proposal, we want to lean into what the problem is that we solve and really understand it from their lens, why the problem even exists, and how to mitigate risk. So we have in my proposal development agency, I crafted a system to start with a project approach first. So a project approach in a proposal, in a government contract proposal, is when you tell the client what your approach is to solving the problem, like walking through the process. And oftentimes, when clients come to us, or even on the consulting side, when I'm helping clients with consulting, the, the when I'm reading and auditing their past projects, their past proposals, I read it the first couple of paragraphs. They're explaining how they're the best at everything. Well, that's not the question. The question is, what is your approach to solve this problem?
Yeah.
So when we solve a problem, where do we start? We start at where they are right now. And then we also communicate that we understand where they want to go. Doesn't that sound simple? It's just the simplest things, but I think the overwhelm of government contracting, the overwhelm of writing all of these pages and saying all these things, it just kind of gets lost. And it's that's why, like, I mean, I think until the day I die, until probably after that, because I'll be somehow figure out a way to like artificially have my audio video like kind of peeking around people's shoulders and saying, hey, don't wait till last minute, aka don't wait till the advertisement to start working on your approach. Because when you do that, scientifically, you're increasing your cortisol. So when you have an increased amount of cortisol in your body, you don't perform as well, meaning that you don't think clear enough, you don't comprehend things clear enough, you're not communicating clear enough. It's just science. It's just how our bodies were created by God. And so that plays a big part in a very deadline heavy experience like government contracting. How do I know? Because this was something that was pointed out to me when I was in corporate America. And that was my job, is to submit proposals. And it's a very stressful situation when you're just waiting for the RFP, the advertisement, to come out. And then we start having conversations about working together. And we only have 4 weeks. Then it goes down to 3 weeks. Then it goes out to 2 weeks. And we don't even have anything together. Excuse me, that's a really stressful situation. So to answer your question, where do we even start? It starts with your system. So I believe that every business, regardless if it's service or product, it doesn't matter. I only focus on helping service businesses, having a system, because that's how you can first start working on not being a commodity. Because, like if someone else, like a competitor, provides the same services that you offer, they're leaning into how great their team is, years of experience, what stages they've been on, or what their case studies are, what the clients are, right? That's what everybody does. But not everybody has the same system. More than likely, I have not ever seen a system the same way in any business. Once we have identified what that system is, it's unique and different to that business because it's unique to the culture, the style, and the services that they offer.
I'm
And
having like a
so,
total aha over here.
yeah,
First off, I love systems. You know me.
yeah.
I love me a good system. I believe that system is an acronym. Have you heard this? Saving yourself significant time, energy, money. Spell system. Boom. But I think correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing you say is that people are running in with solutions and executions versus doing a proper diagnostic, presenting authority like you're a doctor, sharing like here's a solution, and then inviting the execution. Is that correct?
Yeah,
So like
100%.
I feel like here's my system of the system. Diagnostic, doctor, diagnose, do it. So
Yeah.
diagnostic, what is your problem? So it's like you, me, solution, execution. You
Hmm.
know, you're coming, they're coming, they got something going on.
Hmm.
Why does the problem exist? Like, don't make it all about you, make it all about them. Which is just good customer service, right? And then why are you a good person, a candidate to potentially solve it? What's your system? What's
Yeah.
your diagnosis, what's your solution? And then how could they do it by executing with you?
Yeah.
Would that be
It's kind of
correct?
like 100%. That's exactly it. So it's kind of like, you ever gone on a road trip and, growing up, we went on a lot of road trips. And every time we were planning ahead for that road trip, we had a checklist. My mom was a checklist person. I am a checklist person. And it was like we'd go to the store and we get all the snacks to have in the car, and then packing all of our favorite clothes to wear, and then if it was summertime we would go to the store and get new sneakers or sandals, swimsuits, packed properly, blah blah
Oh
blah,
yeah.
all of these things. And then of course, like, who are we bringing? Oh man, the cousins came, you know what I mean, just kind of figuring all those pieces out. That is your approach. Like, once you have identified what your approach is, then the rest of the proposal becomes easy because you already know what you need in order to deliver. You're not just like, see, one of the mistakes I see people make is, well, I'll work on this piece and then I'll work on that piece and I'll work on this piece. No, work on the approach, because it's going to be the resumes, which is your team's experience, past performance, which is going to speak to your project approach and how
Mhm.
you've delivered it before. Um, it's going to be like kind of the glue that puts the whole thing together.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like the map quest, it's like the Google map directions. You gotta know where you're at, where you're going, and then like a route to get there. And it helps them see like why you're a good option. Like, well, they've already charted this extremely clear approach. Okay, so dial it in. Don't make it all about you. What are some of the variables
Mm.
that exist that like I should be aware of? Because like I'm so interested, Melinda, and like this, we talked about this before. I want to get like government contracts like yesterday. You
Yeah.
know, like I'm looking down at the rest of the year. Like we're in August. We have rest of the month. So we have half, we're exactly half of the month, right? So we have the rest of August, September, October, November, December. Let's just like pretend it doesn't exist because it's mostly holidays and
Yeah.
year-end things. Okay, so what, we have 2.5 months, three, 3.5 months. I
Yeah.
want to get a government contract in the next 3.5 months. So
Okay.
how can we get a government contract for my software company in the next 3.5 months? Like, what are the variables I should be aware of for the company I'm a part of? I'm the COO of High Ticket Purpose, and I work day in, day out, super close to the creator, the CEO, and she's being extremely publicly recognized. She's inventing software. We have a launch coming in September. I am ecstatic about it. And what I'm feeling as, how like God gives you hints of things?
Yeah.
And I've sensed this long before I sensed this long before I took this position as the COO, was that working with her is like a Jeff Bezos garage moment.
Mm.
And this is where, um, how do I say this? Conviction and instinct kick in before you have evidence. There's already evidence, but like I can just tell like she's in Amazon waiting to happen. But I can't wait for our launch in September. Um, and I have a sense like this is a lot bigger than any of us think it's gonna be. And I'm curious how we can get these solutions into more hands.
Yeah.
And I believe that that looks like working on a larger level and a larger scale. And so I'm interested, where do government contracts come into play? How can we serve people? Um, it's exciting to be on something that's ground level, that you don't just have to like talk yourself into it being on ground level. Like you get it. Like you know, and like you join like an MLM and they're like, oh my gosh, you just got into ground level. This is so exciting. And they paint the picture and they blow it out of proportion. They get you so excited. And some people it takes off for them. And some people you're like, oh, I just got swept up in the energy. This is like charted course ahead. Totally understand where this is going. It's gonna go gangbusters. Don't even need hyper energy. The vision is clearly there. The metrics of what we already have tested, improved. So how do we take this, like, you know, what like what we have and or the skill set and apply it to government contracts to serve at that higher level? Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Like, okay, so the first two steps in my system, the GovCon sales strategy, step one is to prepare with the end in mind, which you guys have already done.
Mhm.
You've prepared. You know what you're going to sell. You know how you're going to sell it. You know how you're going to deliver it.
Mhm.
So the system is already there. It just may need some tweaking, right? Just really simple stuff. Because messaging has to match the market.
Mhm.
Okay. So then the step number two is target. The really great thing with IT or software solutions, SaaS solutions, is that there's more than enough opportunities everywhere you go. There's federal opportunities, there's state opportunities, there's city, county, town, province, those type of opportunities. There's opportunities with, you know, like the turnpike, and IT and software is just a very big in demand. Um, and then you couple that with like AI, mean, it's just endless. The other actually, was it yesterday or the day before, I received a notification for an opportunity for cabling, conduit cabling. That would be a part of like the IT space. But for that's, products. So for service, it's just ranges. Like they need intranets, landing pages. They need automation systems. They need so many things. So actually, what I'll do is, because I think that would be really helpful, is to show you what the spending is for the specific industry that you're in. So you could
Mhm.
see it. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to share my screen.
You said something under the in the prepare. You said prepare at the end in mind, what to sell. You said then delivery, and then you said something else. Do you remember what it was?
Step two is target. So target the buyers that basically target those that are buying what you sell.
Hmm. I think it was in step one. You said what to sell, how to deliver it. You said something else. What to sell, how to
What
do.
to sell, how to deliver it, and like basically how to talk about it. Like what's your
Oh,
messaging?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Messaging. That was it.
Your
Marketing.
messaging to match the market.
Yeah, there it
Um,
is. Thank you.
you're welcome. So what would you be considered, like IT
Yeah, IT or SaaS or
or SaaS?
automation.
SaaS.
Yeah, SaaS for sure.
Okay. I'm gonna put SaaS up here. I think SaaS is under a different base. I'm gonna search. Okay. Let's make sure that I got this right. Yeah. Okay. And so this is awarded across the board. Let's see what the timeline is. Let's put us fiscal year. I always like to look at 5 years at a time. The reason why is I want to capture any transitions in administration, because that has a lot to impact the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just went ahead and put like fiscal year 2020 to 2024. I don't count the current year typically because a lot shifts in that time. But it would be actually really interesting to note where we are. So maybe I'll do that after this, but to see what the deficit is and how much they actually have to spend
Hmm.
between now and the end of next month, which is insane. How much money can be spent so quickly? Okay, so there's in the last 5 years, there's been 1,100 contracts. Um, and you can see this is sorted by the largest contract to the smallest contract. But the largest contract listed in the last 5 fiscal years has been, what was that? $621,721,697.68. And that was for the creation, maintenance, enforcement analysis, and updates of standard and governance established by the current DCC and provide technical and operational support to the DCC for SaaS, PaaS, and emerging technologies.
Wow.
So we can actually scroll over and see that the awarded agency was for the Department of Veteran Affairs. That starts to give you an idea as, oh, Veteran Affairs buys this thing. And this is where I typically teach people to go is when you're starting to scroll through these and you start to see scopes of work or a description of the award that is very similar to what you do, then you have an idea like, hey, they actually spend this much to do what I'm actually doing right now. This
Yeah.
is usually the biggest aha moment.
Yeah,
And
I'm having those right now.
right, so 21 million, 13 million, 48 million, so on and so forth. But if we scroll down, we can see who is buying what you sell. And these are at the federal level. What's great about this is that there's a state associated level for these agencies. So Department of Defense, Veteran Affairs, Health and Human Services,
Is
Small
this
Business
per year
Administration.
or is this the last 5 years combined? So in the last 5 years, there's been 700 million in DoD, or is it just on average each year? This is how much is being spent.
This
Because
is
five
this
years,
is
right?
yeah. So we still have the filter on for all 5 years.
Okay.
Let's just look at let's just look at 2024. 2024 was a really busy year in terms of technology. And so you can see that Veteran Affairs actually popped up to number one with DoD right beneath that under a 167, 168. So right under that. And then beneath that is Department of Health and Human Services. And then it kind of drops to DHS, DOI, DOT, etc. This is the federal level. This is just federal. So what USA Spending, this is the website that we're on. What USA Spending is great at is looking at information and sharing with us how dollars are being spent and who is getting awarded for these dollars.
Yeah.
If you ever thought, like, if you're running a business and you're new to government, the thing to what excites me about it is everything is public record. I think I say that maybe 10 times during a masterclass because, how often is when we're trying to do our market research to find out what offers to create in our businesses so that they can sell, who is buying what we sell, who is selling what we sell. And all of that is public record, is completely available. We could see where it says recipient name, Met Green Solutions, International Business Machine. So that's
Yeah.
IBM, Goldstrix, Smartronics, and so on and so forth. We can lurk them. We can look at what they're doing in their business, go to their website, look at their social media, see how they're positioning themselves.
Yeah.
And if they're doing something similar to what we're doing in our business, we can model what they're doing so that we could get positioned to win.
I
Now,
love
what's
that.
really fun about this is that you see this like really long number, this prime award ID.
Mhm.
Well, that's the contract ID. And so with the contract ID, what you could do is there's this thing called FOIA, a federal, Freedom of Information Act. The Freedom of Information Act says that basically the exchange of any communication is public. We've seen this on, during the election season when there's emails and, oh, they said this and that, and da, 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 da. That's all a part of the FOIA. Okay. But we can also do that for proposals. We can do that for contracts that have been awarded and see what they were awarded for. We can actually see some of the information will be redacted, but the primary value that you're looking for is in a FOIA request. It's just steps away. So let's say you come across an ABC company that's really similar to your business and they got awarded a $20 million contract. Well, you have the award ID. So now you can request a copy of their proposal, a
Hmm.
copy of the contract, and there's no guessing, none. It's done. You're just like, oh, okay, well, that's how they positioned. Now I'm just going to be better, right? No, I'm just going to be better. I'm not going to be the same. I'm going to be better. I'm not going to copy. I'm going to improve because I know that I am better than them, right? And that's why it's so important to have a system because it starts to create clarity. If we, like, many people, and maybe this was written in a book at some point, but many people do their laundry all the same. They separate their colors from their whites and their darks, right? Like it's just, but who taught that? Like nobody, it might have been in a book at some point, but it has been just kind of something that we do. We don't really think that, like, how are we all doing it the same way for the most part, you
People who
know?
don't, I don't trust them.
Right? Like, wait a minute, you're putting a pink shirt with a white shirt. Nope, we're not friends.
Oh, their
But
white
truly,
comes out like just, it's got a slight hue to it.
you
Yeah.
you can tell a bachelor, man. You can tell our bachelor for sure because he's
Dude,
just
not even
always walking
bachelors,
around with a
Melinda.
faded.
Not even
Yeah. Oh
bachelors.
no.
You can tell some ladies that just don't know what they're doing. But anyways,
Oh
you know
man.
what? That goes to show too, like in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
There's some people that are just winging it and you can tell like they're not separating their whites from their darks. They're
Yeah.
not separating their laundry. They're just kind of throwing it out there all together. They're not modeling what works.
Yeah.
And so, okay. Okay, so I like this. Go to usaspending.gov, research, model. We can use that number, go to foia.gov, request a copy or like
Yeah.
the contract so there's no guessing and
Mhm.
we know it works.
Yeah. Every agency has their own FOIA system. So for the Department of Veteran, you can Department of Veteran FOIA, Department of Defense FOIA, the, the state of Colorado FOIA, the city of Orlando FOIA. So like
Okay.
they have there's another name they use. It's all the same, but it's like an archive system. So you just request. Usually, it's like a little panel box and ask you for, provide any information about the contract, which obviously is going to help you get that faster and for them to find it, and then your information for them to contact you, and then they just either send it to you if you want a printed copy. They just it's paid to print kind of thing, but it's really straightforward. It's a really straightforward process. And a lot of people don't know or have not tried to get it because I don't know. I think I think research is undervalued and people want to just get to the money. And so one of the things that I'm really passionate about is helping people create assets in their business, leveraging government contracts. So it's not like this is not a quick buck. It kind of gets me frustrated when I hear people talk about like, oh, I just need to get a contract and I'm good. Like my money is good. No, because money is supposed to flow because it's a currency. So it needs to flow and it has to have some type of movement to it because it's energy. And so like if you expect just to make money and you'll hold on to that as long as you can and then the situation doesn't change or your identity doesn't change then it'll be even harder to make more money. So what I teach people through government contracts through all my systems and my programs is we want to make sure that we're planning for the long run, right? What I just showed you for fiscal years, last 5 fiscal years, is so powerful because when you're starting to think about how am I going to grow my business, what is going to be sustainable for my business in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you could just look at the archives. You could look at USA spending to see, well, what are the common contracts that repeat over and over and over again? How long are those terms? Is it 1 year plus 4? Is it 1 year plus 2 years? And now you're starting to plan ahead opposed to just winging it. Because those that wing it, they just burn out. Like you want to have a plan and then you just iterate and optimize as you go. It's a lot, it's a lot easier. I remember Holy Spirit told me that. He said, it's a lot easier to maintain than to start all over again. And I really believe that that's a wealth mindset. You know, is are we thinking about the long-term plan of our business, or are we just thinking like this is just our lifeline? Like I'm gonna make it big and one day I'm gonna have all the photos on Instagram and TikTok and show all my house and my car and blah blah blah. But what about your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids and your kids' 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 kids, right? Like biblically, we're supposed to give to them. So what do we have? We just basically we're the third servant in the story of the parable of the talents. We're just kind of burying our wealth, even though we have an opportunity to transform our entire life and our lifeline, the people that come behind us. So, and we get to do that because that's what the wealthy are doing every single day. You just saw IBM, right? Like hundreds of millions of dollars. There's um gosh, there's like designers, there's designer fashion designers that are selling government contract are winning government contracts. There's all different types of businesses. Why? Because it's diversification of revenue. So it's just smart business to get into government contracts. How you do it is so important, right? Because it's long-term growth, not just, you know,
Well, I like what you're
intermediate.
saying. I was talking today with the CEO. Like we were having a discussion. We were talking about like the trouble with winging it and flying by the seat of your pants. Like that's not a sure strategy. It's not an asset, it's not a system. And then what happens is if you have lots of success flying by the seat of your pants, maybe you're blessed, anointed, lucky for a season, you can't duplicate it because you don't know how you got there.
Yeah.
So it's very like flash in the pan versus like long, long sustainable run. And we don't want flash in the pan results. We want long, sustainable run. So, okay, so what's next? So we do some research, we can model, we can make sure we request a copy, no guessing. Um, what's next?
Yeah. Once we figure out who is buying what we sell, then we get to strategy, which is like it's the crux. So step 3 is strategize. Step 1 is prepare. Step 2 is target. Step 3 is strategize. And so it's strategize. It's really about getting clear on how we stand out. Like, what is our unique differentiator? Differentiator is like what makes us unique, what makes us different from everyone else that they've seen. And that's also something you can pull from Voya is the scoring sheet, how they scored all the other companies, see who actually did something. It's so helpful to see that. And then you think to yourself, well, I have my system that helps me stand out. My experience, potentially my team experience that helps me stand out, maybe your experience with that client or in that industry. So say for example, for a software company, you have experience in healthcare, right? And it's a tremendous amount. And that RFP that you're responding to is for healthcare. Well, that makes sense, right? So opposed to just I'm in IT and we do all different types of things.
What's RFP stand for?
Request for proposal.
Okay. So walk me through that process because I'm like, I'm just cutting my teeth on this. So
Okay.
RFP. So I can do research, I can model, I can request a copy, no guesswork. I can strategize who's buying, who's the
Mm-hmm.
buyer,
Yeah.
and then how do we stand out? But how, like, at what point do we do a request for a proposal?
So the request for proposal is the advertisement from the agency. So
Okay,
they
so
do
it's the
it.
marketing. So they,
They
okay,
post it. Yeah. It's kind of like a job posting. It's like it just kind of like pops up and people respond to it. If you are aware that it's there, you respond to it.
Okay, so my
Um,
thought was I would request to put in a proposal, but no, it's they're requesting that we put in a proposal. Okay.
yes.
It's very
No, you're
interesting.
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, cool. So, um, the way that you're describing this sounds very much like how I approach like my one-to-one sales with my high ticket clients. Like you're, because I also do my one-on-one coaching with my high ticket clients and help them like with their businesses and their strategies. And so this is like these are things I say like when I'm in a consultation,
Hmm.
like or if I'm networking at some of these events, these masterminds that I'm a part of, who is buying what I sell? And you're talking about how do I differentiate myself? Like, what's my
Yeah,
system? What's my experience? And be like, what's my story? What qualifies me to talk to this person and help solve that problem? So trying to say I should take that same approach with the government because I gotta be honest, that's kind of shocking to me. It's cool because I'm already familiar with it, but what's shocking about it is I would think I would want to be like neutral, vague, professional, like diplomatic. And you're kind of saying, no, how do you stand out?
yeah.
Wow. Like that's a shift for me. Like that's a for real shift because I would think I would need to be more like
It's
generic.
no, actually, generic hurts you. So, generic 100% hurts you.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
because what
huge.
it's that's why the proposal process is like it's they when so when you're responding with a proposal for a request for proposal, you're including the written form and also your price, and that pursuit is considered a value-based price. Like you're kind of saying it's very much like a high ticket offers. Like you're kind of saying this is our price, this is our experience, how we're going to deliver, yes or no. And they see the best value in that response versus just on price. If it's just like if they're just asking for a fee, then they're just going to grade you on fee. If they're asking for a proposal, they're going to grade you on the value of your entire package, your entire proposal. Yeah.
That is so cool. I
So
didn't know that. Like I would literally think like it's government, be governmental, I guess. And like that just for me
no,
that I would think like be as one size fits all generic as possible. And I like that's really a big aha for me, Melinda. That's so cool. So okay, so be authentic
yeah.
versus generic, like value forward. What's my system? What's my experience? How am I gonna help them get their result?
Here's one thing that I'm going to tell you, a super, 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 super ninja thing that
I love
I
ninjas.
mean,
Tell me all the
most people don't
ninjas.
do.
Tell me
And
the
I
ninjas.
know, yeah, I mean, like most people don't do this because, like, I've seen I've requested a lot of FOIAs. Like, I've done a lot of FOIA requests. And so I've read proposals from other companies, and I'm just shocked because I'm like, oh, okay, no wonder you lost. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, this is insane. But when you're responding to the questions that they have beyond the project approach, tailor them to the problem. You see, every question in an RFP, in a request for proposal, is intentional. Like when they ask for your financials, don't ignore them. Like they're asking for your financials because there may have been a time where there was a contractor who could not fulfill on the contract. And it had to do with the financial stability of their business. And so they're asking that for a reason. So when they ask that, you want to respond straight, like this is, I'm responding exactly how you have asked me. And in your approach, you incorporate, we have a financially strong organization. You see it? So it's like I'm building the trust, I'm building momentum in my proposal so that they say yes. It's a whole goal. Here's another question like,
Tailor
uh,
your
um,
tailor your responses to
uh,
the company's questions or to the outcome. Both.
tailor your responses of what is in the minds of the agency, of the buyer. So I'll give you another example. I don't have an RFP open with me right now. Let's see if I can pull one up real quick. Uh,
That reminds me of like
yeah.
I used to teach middle school. And it was like, how can I break this down so that an 11, 12, or 13-year-old understands? versus like just talking adult speak or, maturity to them. Like I was a math teacher. I was selling math.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to buy math, you know? And so I had to learn like how to communicate and tailor my responses to the buyer, the child, the student to help create that intrinsic motivation versus the extrinsic motivation. Because extrinsic motivation is I always have to be there to get you going. Intrinsic motivation is I already lit you up. Now you're actually inspired, not motivated. You're inspired, which means in spirit. So I'm moving you from the inside out versus the
Yeah.
outside in. And like tailor your responses to the buyer, which is
Yeah.
persuasion. Like it's
It's
persuasion, not
100% true.
convincing.
No.
Ugh, so good.
So,
Yeah,
so
it's
like
so
I'll give you an
crazy. You're
example. It's
teaching.
like if, say, for example, somebody asks you, can I have a bottle of water? And they're like gushing sweat, like they're just breathing hard, leaning over, like, can I get a bottle of water? And you give them a bottle of water. You say, here's your bottle of water. And then they drink, they hydrate. Okay. And then later on, you tell them that you tell them that you always have a bottle of water. In fact, you have a bottle of water for them before their exercise or before they hit the gym. You could deliver it on demand. And so because they just had that experience or before they have the experience, they know. And so when they ask you for it, which is the question, we're just responding to the question because that's what they're asking for. And then we can incorporate the reason why they're asking the question, not our understanding. It's the reason why the question even exists. If you understand why the question even exists in the first place and you address that, it increases the understanding that you have in what they need.
Yes,
So
it's so much more obvious. Like, of course, I want to go with you. You know my problem better than I do.
yeah.
Of course, I'd like to go with you. You're well versed and articulate. Yeah, so good. Okay, so what's my next step?
Okay, so strategize is number three. So step number four is submit. This is when we put all of the ingredients together
Mm-hmm.
and we build the proposal. Now, what
Okay.
I just shared with you earlier to answer your questions, that was basically like a blend of strategize and submit. Oftentimes, what people do is they wait until the RFP is advertised and then they start working on this. Obviously, like I said, I tried to avoid that as much as possible because I want the best creative out of people. Um, but this submit, step number four, submit is just making sure that you're compliant, making sure that you have a really clear story, and making sure that your price is right. And so, price is right. When I say that, I mean you're not you're being honest with yourself and them about your price. One of my friends who works for the Department of Transportation in Mississippi, he said, he says he like it scares him. It's like he hates seeing really low bids because he knows they can't deliver on that bid. He knows that they can't deliver. Even if it was awarded, they wouldn't be able to do the work because they don't have the money to do it. Right. So it's better than to just put your price out what it is. And if you lose, you lose, you win, you win. Right. And at least you're whole. And so that requires, in my opinion, from working with smaller companies, especially like at the 6 and the 7 figures, it requires a lot of boundary setting with finance, like your pricing, because like there's I don't know what it is. It's kind of like they believe that they have to go low in order to be qualified, and that's actually not true. Like in proposals, they want best value. So if you're going to show best value, then do it in your price as well, in addition to your proposal, because that's a part of it.
What do you think that looks like as far as like the cost of doing business, supplies, time, expertise, for delivery, all the things, plus like just your fee for doing your job, like your work. So is there a rule of thumb, like it would take this many hours. I charge this much per hour plus maybe a 10% situation? Or like how do you price it out when you're doing such a large job that maybe we've never done a corporate or a government? Like we've built out systems for other companies that are doing 1 million a month,
Yeah.
but like we haven't built out something maybe on a governmental level to where we could, have that experience. So how does pricing work maybe for
Yeah.
our service? Um,
Pricing. So you mentioned corporate and government. So corporate is easier to price, in my opinion, than government. Corporate is just it's a percentage of the ROI. It's kind of like it's something that they wouldn't even blink at, and it's probably astronomically more than what we would ever ask for. So like if
tell me more about that. Like,
if you're working, if you're doing business with a company that is making 1 million a month, right? So they're doing 12 million. Is that what you just said? It's 12
yeah,
million a
yeah.
year?
Hmm.
And you're building something out. What is the ROI? So like you're taking them from a baseline of 1 million a month to what? If you're going to help them make 2 million a month, then you're helping them double the size of their organization
Well,
in what period of
we
time?
took them from 0 to 1 million a month.
In how long?
I think it was like 3 months.
So that deal is a sexy one. I mean, I wouldn't just do it on fee. I would do a percentage of what they brought in.
Yeah, and that's what. So okay, so that makes sense
It's
for
so much
corporate.
easier. Corporate is
Yeah,
so much
but like
easier.
what?
Yeah.
Okay, but GovCon. So like, let's
Yeah.
take GovCon. Like, do we do percentage of ROI? I mean, like, and like play the game. Let's make a deal. I give you $1. I give you $10 for your $1. Like, I would take that deal.
Mhm.
Like, do we go that style where it's like, hey, you
No,
give me
there's
100K.
no negotiation in government contracting.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out. Like, how
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
you, because there's no percentage of ROI, or maybe
Mhm.
like like usually the rule of thumb that I'm familiar with, right,
Yeah.
is hey, I'm going to get you a 10x ROI. So here's my X,
Yeah.
Is that how
Yeah.
that works? Or how do you typically charge
It's
for
fractionally.
government?
So like I kind of want to say this. So I say that like there's no negotiation because they'll negotiate like like dollars and cents. Like it's minimal margin, which is basically nothing. How they will either tell you ahead of time the budget that they have and that you just need to adhere to it, um, or you need to deliver a budget to them, like your price to them. And so when you deliver your
Oh,
price to them, it's for the overall project itself, broken out to the length of the project. So if it's a 5 year project and, you know, within their contract example that they included, you get paid every 30, 60, or 90 days, then you break it up within that. So you have like an idea, okay, so this is what operating cost is going to be in order to deliver the X of whatever it
okay.
is.
So it's budget given by them or
Mm-hmm.
price breakdown given by you.
Yeah.
And you just said something that was like so dumb. I didn't even like think about it. I think I've just been thinking very annually, like, oh, government contracts are just for a 1 year thing. But you're saying that government contracts could be for the next 5 years
Or 10 years.
or
Yeah.
10 years. Yeah. So okay. So you're like getting a secure book of business. This is,
Secure
this is,
recession proof book of
this is
business.
game changing because the
Mhm.
government's going to spend that money.
They have to,
Oh
because
my
the whole point of the
gosh,
government contract is to
Belinda.
circulate the economies. That's it.
We
Like
need
that's the
t-shirts.
point.
Everyone, we need t-shirts. It says recession proof on the back. Ask me how. And the front says everyone needs GovCon. Everyone needs a GovCon.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a farmer, you're a roofer, construction, IT, healthcare, I mean, what is the
Okay.
government doing? Like
Okay, so step 4, submit. What's step 5?
step five
Listen.
is track,
Okay,
track.
you
So
understand that
this
my
is
goal is literally 3.5 months, and we're gonna
you're
get one.
exciting. You're getting excited, aren't you?
I'm past excited. I am show me the government contract. Yes, track.
Yeah, track. So track is just about iterating. right? So regardless if we win or lose, we always want to know why. We always want to look at we always want to look at what our scoring. Included in your RFP is a selection criteria. They'll tell you how we're going to score you. So the project approach is going to be typically is the largest piece of the pie. Second to that is the fee. Second to then after that is going to be team or projects. Typically is that priority list. But they'll give you a percentage, and so you want to know how well you did. Like if the project approach is 70% and you get 55, well, you want to know why you didn't get 70. Like what was it? How can we improve? Even if you win, even if you win, because you always want to be the best, right? Like I at least want to be best. I'm very competitive. So I
Same.
always want to be the best.
What? Yeah. Oh no, I like to know. I've learned like failure or feedback. I want to know. I used to hear people say like, I want to know what I can improve. I'm like, I just want to know what I did well. That used to be like, I guess maybe like less mature me. But now I'm like, no, 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 feedback. How can I get better? How can I get better? How can I get better?
What
So
does
when
it say in Proverbs about wisdom? Like a wise man um appreciate, what does it say? A wise man appreciates uh shoot, I
it's
forgot.
Proverbs 9:8. I know
Counsel.
that's what it is.
You know what I'm talking
It's
about? Yeah.
Proverbs 9:8. There's a t-shirt I used to buy. There's a t-shirt like they like, make like funny Christian t-shirts. And it says hate is gonna hate, Proverbs 9:8. And it's like a wise man um is bettered by counsel and correction, and a fool despises
Yes.
feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how many times in life have you, or like even me, run away when someone says no? I'm like, no, okay, fine, fine, fine. It's okay, it's okay. Like delete, or I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to look at it. I want to, and we just never learn, or we don't learn from that experience because we ran away from it. Right. And so, um, because there's like so much valuable information publicly available that anybody can access at any time.
Yeah.
If you lose, you just go after another one, right?
You know
And
what?
so, yeah, you just get better.
I had this, I just kind of like, just story time. I had this big poster in my classroom when I was a teacher, like 11 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it was. I made this poster and I hung it. It was huge. I mean, it was like this big. It was enormous. It's like a big collage. And right in the middle, there was like this like little lion picture, and
Yeah.
like this like lion walking with power, dominion, and authority. And a little quote that says, I never lose. Either I win or I learn.
Yes,
And
exactly.
like that's the approach.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so if Ruthie and Kendra, the CEO, we want to get high ticket purpose, we want to win a government contract
Cool.
before the end of the year. Our goal is to prepare, target, strategize, submit, track.
Yeah.
So where do we go to prepare? Prepare by going, like, you want to say spending, doing the research, going
Prepare
to
is really
FOIA.
about your business. Prepare is what am I going to sell?
Okay, there you go. That's
Okay.
helpful. Oh yeah, what am I gonna
Yeah.
sell?
Target is target is where we start figuring out who is buying what we sell.
Okay, so
And then
prepares the what, targets the who.
strategize is how do we stand out? How do we
How?
make ourselves known?
I
Right?
love this.
Positioning. And then step number four, submit, is okay, let's put together a killer proposal that's going to knock their socks off. And then step number five is all right, so how can we learn from this experience? Yay, we won. Okay, so how can we learn so we can do it again? A lot of times, like, so once you win, right? Once you win a contract, you take the exact same proposal, you tweak it, tailor it slightly, I mean, slightly, because you know what's winning. So you don't take out the thing that's winning, but you just go ahead and just repurpose that sucker for another contract and another contract and another contract and another contract. And so when you lose, you just optimize it, and then you go after whether the same one the next time it comes out or another contract. And so that it's just like, just get the reps in.
Get the okay. Okay, so I'm mindful of the time. Melinda, how do we, like, what are the next steps for us to work with you? Like, what are the next steps for us to implement this to get results faster? Because you do this, right? Like, you do this
Yeah.
for, this is your business. So, because we want to create ourselves, like, we want to be sitting pretty with our assets and we want to be
Mhm.
sitting pretty with our strategy. We don't want to wing it, hope so, wish so, you know, post and pray. We
Yeah.
don't want to do that. What would your advice be for us to increase our likelihood of success?
Model was already working. Like we already know that lesson, right? And yeah, book a call. I mean, I think at from you and I, like the rest of the people that are watching on YouTube, that's we're gonna have to just figure out how to qualify you so we can get you the right guidance and support where you're at.
Yeah.
But you and I, yes, we just book a call and we can talk through exactly what you're looking for. Are you looking for someone to do done for you, have it completely done and have my agency handle it for you?
Yeah.
Or are you looking to learn it so that you can, you know, basically leverage the experience and knowledge
Yeah.
that you have and put it into other businesses or even teach other people how to do it? So,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, I see the writing on the wall of the economic room, and I feel like we have a 3 to 5 year runway of get your stuff together and stack wealth, be smart, invest. I think our world's really going to change dramatically in the next 5 to 10 years that we probably can't even imagine. I heard someone say maybe about 5 years ago the robots are coming, and I didn't think like what they weren't saying it. I think out of fear, like as more like out of awareness. And I'm not a fear mongerer, but I am a strategist. I am mindful, and so. I do feel like we're in a season where God has given us seed and he's like,
mhm,
"Hey, listen, find soil." And I feel like not just because I'm a marketer or not just because I'm a businesswoman, but I do really feel like an unction in my spirit like find as much seed as possible, find as much good ground as possible and sow as much seed as fast as you can.
yeah,
Um because I think the landscape of life as we've known it is going to change very dramatically. I mean, like, if you look at the television or film, it's a radically new invention.
yeah,
If you look at, like, rather in the history of time, if you look at the cell phone, like, these haven't even existed my whole lifetime.
mm,
And now there's like new updates, new phones, everything's faster, better scale. You know, I think the world is becoming way more digital. And I think it makes sense to recession proof your business by getting in on these, but even like not even just recession proof, like
it's going premium. Like you're just going premium. You're working with businesses because government is business, right? So you're working with an entity that has money and that wants to, like, they're required by law to spend money with you and pay you on time by law. Why not? Why would you not? Like
yeah, it
it's
sounds
just
like the
good sense.
smartest play. It sounds like one of the smartest plays. Because I do think that where we're heading is a lot of unknown territory. So maximize what is known now.
Mhm.
Maybe that's the best way to say, like, maximize what's certain and known now. And I think biggest thing that freaks people out is change and fear of the unknown. So it's like, well, control your controllables. Like you just showed me what is possible and what exists. Well, you showed me a fraction of what's possible and a fraction of what exists. And so it doesn't even make sense. I feel an obligation that if I don't do something, I might be in like disobedience because I have a responsibility to protect myself and others responsibly, preparing, seeing what's on the forecast and just making the next most reasonable, rational step. Like, oh, there's rain coming. Okay, like get an umbrella, you
Yeah.
know, there's a storm coming, get your groceries so you don't gotta like go out during the storm. That's what I feel like is happening. So I really appreciate you walking me through this because um it is our full intention within High Ticket Purpose. I know I speak for the CEO. Like it is our full intention to run headlong into this, knowing that our runway of life as we know it is going to change dramatically in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Everything is happening faster, and which means that there's more opportunity on the other end to solve more problems. But here's the other thing that's happening is the largest wealth transfer in American history is happening right now.
Yeah.
And I can't stress this enough. I am excited about it. I am trying to get as many people as excited about it, but aware of where the money exists now so that they can just kind of get their nets and
Dude, I've
cast so
been
that they can get
praying
that
that.
fish, baby. Like,
I've been praying that, so I was reading that just the other day. God led me to read that portion of scripture. Was it John? Where was it? Like John 5, is it 5 or something? I don't
yeah,
know.
it's early in John. Yeah.
Early in John, yeah, like it's in the first couple of chapters.
So
You know what got me about that? It says they fished all night.
they fish all night. And Jesus is like, oh yeah, go back out. Imagine how like obedient you
But
had to
he
be to be
knew
like,
that. He knew they fished all night.
okay.
He said, you didn't catch anything, did you, boys? He knew. So this is what gets me. They fished all night. You think they hadn't considered the other side of the boat? Like, I'm
Mm,
sure they tried that, you know? And it's just like the ways of God are so different than the ways of man. And I love God's approach to things. It's like, put your stick in the water. That's his approach. Talk to the guy. I'm going to harden his heart, you know? Um, uh, ask the poor lady, the widow, to make you some bread with her last, like,
mm.
lump of flour, you know?
Love
Um,
that story. Yeah.
or his strategy is like tap the rock, cast your nets on the other side. And now that's my prayer. I was praying that this week, at the beginning of this week, God, show me where to cast my nets.
Yeah.
Show me where to cast my nets. And then this week, I probably have had like a high income revenue week for myself. I probably one of the highest in a while. Praise God. It's not every single week that I been able to generate what I did this week, which is really cool. And it wasn't through striving. It was through like asking God and being prayerful and like asking and asking and asking, not from a place of begging, but from a place of like, I know He's faithful. I know He wants to tell me, like, God wants me to win.
Yeah.
Right. And I also know that my heart's in the right position, my motives are in the right spot, and I'm not leading anyone anywhere bad. And I'm not doing it with the wrong motive or the wrong approach.
Yeah.
I am looking to like bless up everybody and just like being captain ease and commitment over here and getting it done, flexible like Gumby. And I feel like that's like one thing I learned when I was in my coaching academy to like be certified as a master level life coach was because that was my process. I was like classroom teacher, crushed that, but knew that there was more, really went way hard into personal development and then like executive development and like learning how to become a certified life coach and then like a master certification, got real deep into masterminds, still in that space. And then I like left teaching, full-time entrepreneur coaching, business coaching, now in an executive position and like serving premium clients, which is phenomenal. And there was a point I was going to make. It did leave me, but it will come back to me.
Well, what
Um,
I'm hearing you say, honestly, is um, like God left breadcrumbs to this point where you can like just leverage what you've already done. It's kind of, we've talked about Israel and how they were led finally, they finally made it uh, through obedience, finally, to the promised land and they built their own everything.
yeah,
How did they learn how to do any of that? Well, it's when they were in slavery, they learned all of those things. When
I
it was
think
hard.
Yeah, I think that what I'm trying to say was like in sharing my little journey and even like in tying in the Israelites in Egypt is like I know where I'm taking you is good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm taking you out of slavery into your promised land. Or I'm taking you as like growth, transformation, opportunity, possibility, freedom. I'm so saturated in the value of where I'm taking people. And then if I could just share one tip, I do have to hop off here in a second, but
Yeah.
if I could just share one tip, what I have found that's really helpful is it's called the belief triad. It's belief in you as the person, belief in your process, and then belief in the product.
Mm,
And the product could be the person you're serving. So, like belief in the person, like I'm a good coach. I am a coach. Belief in the process, like people want to pay for my coaching. my coaching works. My coaching is helping people have an upgrade. And then belief in the product, which is like my clients are able and willing to pay. Or like this works so well. People always get results,
Mm.
you know? And so like that's been really helpful for me. And like even in those I've been serving and coaching the last couple of days, that's come up a lot. Like there has to be belief around those three pillars. Like I'm really good at what I do. Why would I not try and serve my country, my government in what I do?
Community.
My
Yeah.
community. Yeah, my city, county, state, federal level, like why not? And then like people want this. Like there are listings, RFPs, baby. And then why not apply? Like why not me? Why not apply? Why couldn't I win one? And
Mhm.
like it just feels like such a big, really cool opportunity.
There's so much we can cover. I mean, we can go on and on about this world of government contracts, and there's more than just RPs. There's so many different advertisements. But at the end of the day, the most important step is the first one. So we're just getting our feet wet.
Shoot, girl. Let's Michael Phelps it next time. This was great. Let's full in Olympic gold medal this thing.
Ooh, ooh. Do you have
Thank
any
you
other
so
questions for
much.
me before we
Uh,
end?
you know what? I think that the questions will be best asked when we do, like set up our one-on-one because
Cool.
we get to meet with you to figure this out. End of the year, that's the goal. So that's the goal, coach. Get us there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.